Here we're about to ascend up from the bottom of the ocean floor. These are all hard corals that are found on the bottom of the ocean floor, along with cracks. And okay, you see there, my dive guide got freaked out because I was making some strange ghost-like noises, but it's just me in a blissful state, laughing and being happy underwater. But I let her know I'm okay. And she's telling us here, you guys need to go up in that direction, find the rope that is attached to the boat, and go up. So that's what we were telling her, like, okay, we're gonna do that. And you see my buddy here is raising his arm. He's actually releasing all of the air that has been building up out of his BCD, and I completely forget to do this part, so that's gonna come in handy later. So the cracks on the bottom of the ocean floor is due to volcanic activity from years and years ago. So Niihau is actually a 4.9 million years old volcano, and it's no longer active. Many reasons for the cracks, things like erosion or sediment collapses. There's also tectonic plate movements that are causing these kind of cracks and fractures underwater. And okay, well, here you can see actually I'm having sort of a problem because I'm starting to rise, and you can't tell in this scene, but my butt is actually starting to float up onto the surface. And so as you start to ascend and you're closer to the surface of the water, basically like around 33 feet or 10 meters, actually becomes you become more buoyant, you start to float up. So you see that my butt is like floating up in the air because the air that I had in my BCD basically has traveled down to my butt. And I was looking for my dump valves, which we have on our shoulders or like at the back of, yeah, like right above our butt, and to release this air so that I could pretty much go down. It's very dangerous to just start floating up to the surface once you've been down from a deep depth. And so this is where we're headed to, is to do a safety stop. And so we need to do a safety stop before we can actually start floating up to the top of the surface. Why we do a safety stop is to prevent what's called the decompression sickness. It's also known as the bends. Basically what we're breathing underwater is compressed air, which is not actually oxygen, it's nitrogen and a bunch of other gases. And so what happens is when you're going down at a deeper depth, this nitrogen starts to like dissolve into your blood and your tissues because of the increased pressure. And then as you start to ascend up top, this nitrogen and pressure starts to decrease as you're ascending. The nitrogen needs to leave your body very, very slowly through your lungs. And so this is what's called the decompression. And you get decompression sickness when you ascend too quickly and you don't allow this nitrogen to come out of your tissues. So what will happen is this nitrogen will start to form like bubbles into your blood and your body tissues. And that can end up giving you what's called the bends. And that is when you get dizzy or you're tired or you're numb. Sometimes you can even die or have paralysis when you come up too fast, especially if you're coming from very deep depths. And so here we went down to about 70 feet. So yeah, you really just need to allow those nitrogen bubbles to kind of release out of your tissues and become solution. So that's what we're doing here. And what we're checking on our computers there, on our watches or wrists, is just to see how long we're staying at this depth. So it should be at 15 feet for about 3 to 5 minutes, just to be safe. And yeah, so that's what we're doing here. And I hadn't realized it at the time, but my buddy actually is low on air. So that's why he's rushing his way back, because he needs to do his safety stop and then he has to go up before he runs out of air, and I have to give him my emergency air. You don't have to hold on to a rope to do this part, but it does help, just so you're not like rising up to the surface quicker. Yeah, and the more the more air that you're breathing, the less air that you have in your tank. And so what'll happen is your tank gets lighter as well, and that'll also cause for you to get more buoyant and just easier to float and rise to the surface. So holding onto a rope kind of ensures that you're not going to rise up too quickly. But I've done many of these like safety stops without the rope as well, but it does help. And I'm just looking around here because I think the ocean is just beautiful, and I don't want to leave just yet. Okay, we're ready to go. We're both stayed at 15 feet for at least 3 to 5 minutes, and now you can see that I'm releasing all of the air that might be inside of my BCD, which is a little bit too late, but you want to release all of that air before you rise up, and you want to ascend quite slowly, just to ensure that, again, that nitrogen bubbles don't cause you to faint or anything like that.